I was making 6 figures just doing 6 photographs, but nobody else did that.
I'd like to welcome our guest of the day. Can I have a big round of applause all the way from London? She got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She beat me to it. With Miss Caprice Bourret.
Pad thai and bagels and cream cheese because I just couldn't afford it, and I don't want to be back there again, that's for sure.
That doesn't sound like poverty. Yeah.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Woo, I didn't have my coffee yet, but here we are. I didn't have a speech planned today, but I think Matt's going to ask a few questions, I hope. And you know what, if you guys ever want to interject, please. It's this is my favorite, quite an intimate group. But I'll start off just giving you a background if you have no idea who I am. I came to London in 1996. The age of 18, my mom said, "See ya, bye, good luck, figure it out, love you." And I had to figure it out. So I had an opportunity because in California, I used to do beauty pageants, as you do. And there was somebody there that said, "Oh, you can make a lot of money modeling." I thought, fantastic, great. So off to New York, and then I came over here to London primarily because everyone spoke English. And within the first 6 months, I was catapulted into the public eye. I did the National TV Awards, wore a risque dress, sort of like the Elizabeth Hurley, and ba-boom, ba-ba-ba-boom. I was all over everywhere. But, you know, I got lucky. Normally, I don't believe in luck, and I got lucky there. But to make a business out of that luck, and to keep making money for over 20 years, that's a whole other art form, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Because I have had, at the age of 30, something actually really horrible happened. I turned 30, and that's one foot in the grave in the modeling world. So I had to think of plan B, regardless how much money you're making, how popular you are. You know, what comes up usually comes down. So whilst I was at the top of my game, I had to think of plan B. And my plan B was, okay, what will everyone buy into? Lingerie. I had no idea how to run a business. I had no idea how to start. I had no idea about I had no idea about anything. So I thought license deal. Now you think, oh yeah, okay, well everyone does license. No, back then, nobody did a license deal. That was completely unheard of. So first I had to get an appointment. I thought who was the biggest stockist, who was the biggest distributor, and that was Debenhams at the time. The guy called Terry Green was running the show. Took me a few phone calls, and I finally got the meeting, went into Terry Green, and I said, "I know you're going to invest quite a few million, but I think this could work, and I think you should do a license deal with me." He said, "Are you on crack?" Literally. I said no, at least not today. No, I'm just joking. Just joking, scandal.
She's going to fit in just fine in Leeds.
Anyways, after quite a few meetings, and he went with it, and we went on sale, and we sold out in 2 weeks. And Terry Green was branded the hero because nobody had ever done this, and he invested quite a bit of money, took a massive risk. But hey, in business, we have to take calculated risks, don't we? If we want to make money, we got to spend a little bit. And he went for it, and he believed in me, and it catapulted into millions. And then, you know, it was great. Sales were phenomenal, and then people started to catch on to this license deal thing. And I knew I wouldn't be the flavor of the moment. So again, whilst I was at the top of my game, I thought, okay, I need to take back my name, and I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to supply myself. What a schmuck I was with that. Anyways, I went with it. I convinced him to buy from me, so I would be the supplier, because I could sell to, if I was, the numbers were quite big. We were doing phenomenal in sales. So this is one stockist. If I had 10 stockists and then I was able to go internationally, I could manifest this into it could be quite a good business for me. And I could have full control. and there'd be longevity, and I wouldn't have the risk of being replaced by the next little flavor of the moment. Everything Goes Essex, or what, I don't know, these reality shows. What is all these Love Island and all this. So I just try to take the power back. What a schmuck I was. It's tough. Retail is tough. Anyways, the first collection was a bomb, lost $250,000. And then I started to get the right team on board. I was very ego. You know, when you're in the fame game, I had the tendency to believe my own bullshit until I started losing money. And then I started to get smart and put my ego in my back pocket. And so I got a great, you know, I spent money. I got a really good team. And the second collection ended up working. And then I expanded. Now I'm doing By Caprice Home. And that's doing phenomenally well. And then, I mean, now, you know, I'm jumping back into the entertainment because whatever I do, it kind of fuels the fire for my business. Do you have?
Yeah. So, by the way, guys, if you've got any questions, feel free to jump in. Now, Caprice and I, we met 12, 18 months ago when she was coming on my podcast, actually. So some of these things I've heard before, but they're no less interesting to me now. And I think one thing that I always found really interesting, which you kind of skipped on the journey of what you've done, is how when you used to do the cover shoots back in the day, you used to effectively demand to pick the photographer and then split.
It wasn't a divas drop, okay? It was very calculated, and it was business at the time. You know, it was extraordinary. I'm going to stand up again. It was extraordinary. Is you would do these shoots, and then the ownership would go back to the photographer, and they would make six figures. It was because then they would, you know, they would distribute it throughout the world. They would sell it. So I thought, well, this is ridiculous. I had the power at the time to choose my own photographer, my own makeup, my own everything. I'm going to do a deal with the photographer. I mean, this is common sense. I'm going to do a deal with the photographer where we go 60-40, me being 60, and then he could sell it all he wants. I mean, that made sense to me. Nobody was doing it. Nobody was doing it. The most successful actresses, models in the world were not retaining the rights. I thought, this is crazy. So, you know, some photographers were absolutely appalled by my business deal, I guess you could call it that. And I just said, okay, that's fine. I'll go to my other photographer here who said, okay, well, we might as well make something. It's so easy. We do a shoot. It's a whole day. And then I would only do 6 shoots a year, and I would just sell it throughout the world. I was making, it was unbelievable. I was making 6 figures just doing 6 photographs, but nobody else did that. Like this, it just didn't make sense to me. Anyways, the business is not as lucrative anymore, but at the time, you know, I was doing that for about 10 years, and it was working for me.
And has that method of operation kind of moved into the industry now, or is it still not something that's really done because models are so keen for exposure that they're prepared to shoot regardless?
Yeah, I mean, it's the celebrity world is a different world now. People are doing things for free because they just want to get on the cover or in these magazines, and I'm just not compromising. It's business for me. It has nothing to do with ego. Now I have kids, so. You know, the numbers aren't as high, but there are more of the top end people are jumping in on board. But I don't think all the Love Island girls do that so much. Not that that's bad, but you know.
But that leads me on to another thing which I was going to mention before. Obviously, I spend a lot of time at the moment, you know, kind of interviewing, talking to, and spending time with, I guess, you know, what like you say, Love Island, you know, Towie, the reality stars of today, and what strikes me as the material difference, you know, between you and them is that, you know, the people that you deal with today are so absorbed in their own celebrity that I guess, you know, think it's never going to end. You know, think that they're fantastic, don't really understand the commercial economics of any of this. But you know, if you go back to when you were at the top of your game, I mean, this is before before reality TV, you know, before Instagram, you know, before the, I guess, you know, the proliferation of celebrity and celebrities, you know, back in your day, in the nicest possible way, were
It wasn't just the 90s, you little shit. My height it started in 2000, thank you very much.
A compliment was on its way here. But being a celebrity back then was much bigger than being a celebrity in today's world. And I guess, you know, what impresses me is the foresight that you had when you were still gracing magazine covers and still very much at the top of your game, that you actually said, you know what, this is going to end. I'm not going to be hot forever, and I need to look at doing other things.
No, but a lot of people don't have that attitude. They really, and there was a time that, yeah, I did get sucked into my own bullshit 100%. But I'm from nothing. I mean, I know what it's like to only be able to live off of pad thai and bagels and cream cheese because I just couldn't afford it. And I don't want to be back there again, that's for sure.
That doesn't sound like poverty.
Really?
I'm sorry, I don't know where you come from. These guys would kill for a diet of pad thai and bagels.
But all the time, really? Wow. Well, I didn't like living on bagels and cream cheese and pad thai. But anyway, now I lost my train of thought completely.
I've lost mine as well.
I've got a question.
Go for it.
Hi Caprice, welcome to Leeds.
Thank you.
That guy must be the greatest salesman in the world. How did he get you out at 4 o'clock in the morning out of bed to come here?
I kicked her.
Well, he has some good one-liners. I don't even know what to say. Apart from that is such bullshit.
Do you know where Leeds is? Have you been here before? What's your...
Yeah, I've been here. I don't know where the hell it is, but yeah, I've been here. Just get on a train, Leeds. Okay, we're good. Good. Yeah.
Caprice, I'd like to understand who in the business world do you respect, and more importantly, since you're a successful businesswoman, if you were starting again today, what business sector would you kind of move into, and what product would you like to be associated with?
What product would, I mean, we all have to work to our strengths, right? I had no formal education, and, you know, I worked to my strength. I looked like this, and it worked for me, and I turned it into a business, and I turned it, you know, the one thing about the celebrity world, and I don't want you to take it lightly. It's hard, longevity. And even in business, how do you keep it going? And then how do you start to make more money? I mean, I've had to reinvent myself. I've had the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs. And as entrepreneurs, one thing is fear is not an option. We have to freaking go for it. And do you know how many times we get pounced on and we fall? And what do we have to do? Get back up. And then we get pounced on again and we fall, and we just have to get back up again. It's hard. It's hard, but this is the one thing that I'm really proud of the most, is that I kept getting back up. It's longevity. And especially in the entertainment where you see all these Love Island and all the, I mean, they're so famous, making so much money, and then poof, it's gone. So to make something work, that is an art form, and that's tenacity, and that's what being an entrepreneur is. Now, I know I went off on one, but I think it's really, really important. Fear is not an option here, guys. And another thing, and this is kind of going off the beaten path to success, and I'm sure nobody's ever told you this, but for me, what's worked, especially with negotiating in business, even in personal life, is restriction. Now, what the hell are you talking about, Caprice? Restriction. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You're in a business meeting. It's getting quite heated in the negotiations. Stay quiet. Silence, guys, is power. And what I used to do, my biggest downfall, is I used to make decisions emotionally. Weakness. disaster. Now what I do, even in my relationship with my husband, my kids too, they come up to me, they start screaming, blaming me. Silent. My husband looks at me like I'm on crack now. What's wrong with you? And things just sort itself out. It just and in negotiating, just try it. Just trust me, you think this is crazy. What, this American, they're crazy. Just try it. Sit down in a negotiation, see what they have to say. They think you're a schmuck, they're giving you stupid numbers, whatever the case may be. Stay silent. Don't come back to them. Let them come to you. Don't come back to them. I'm telling you, you will get exactly what you want. That's power. That's one of my best lessons in now negotiating and in business. And then one other, and this is a tough one. This is a really tough one. But there have been a number, I mean, as entrepreneurs, we explore and see what we can make money. You've done, I mean, you have multiple businesses. Sometimes in business, no matter how much money you've invested, you just have to walk away. And that is so tough. I've had quite a few investments where I just kept on putting money in. And then once you've invested so much, you keep on putting more because you want it to work. Some of the smartest decisions in business is literally walking away. Remember, because I do a lot of these talks, and there's one woman, and I kept in touch with her through social media, and she had this business. It was so ridiculous. And she said, listen, I have this business and I've invested $125,000 into it and it's just not working, and I just keep on investing more and investing more. I said, okay, what is it? She said, well, it's this really great idea. I have this sheet and then I embroider some beautiful embroidery down the middle and put on my bed. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, well, the whole point of it is my husband is not allowed to go past this little line. I said, what? And you've invested, this is a true story, £125,000 trying to make it work with marketing and God knows what. I said, honey, are you joking? You got to walk away from this. And she said, no, but I can't. I've invested all this money. I know it's going to work. No, the smartest decision you can make is you need to walk away from this now. And then we actually exchanged messages through social media, and she eventually did. And she started working for a real estate firm, and now she has her own firm, and she's doing phenomenally well. But it was such a difficult decision for her because, and it is, you invest so much money and then you keep on investing more. Walk away. Just walk away. Again, I went off on one, but yes.
How many different businesses have you had, and do you always invest your own money or do you borrow?
Oh, gosh. Over the years, I actually couldn't tell you. You know, some are small, some are bigger. Some I invest, normally I'll hedge, so I'll get other investors and I'll put in a little bit of my own so that they know the commitment. And most of them, smartly, you know, rightly so, they would insist on that. But for the most part, because I've made a few really, really bad choices. And you know what? The mistakes in life are my biggest and my best lessons. I never think, oh God, apart from some of the guys that I dated. Those are my only regrets. But for the most part with my I've learned so much. And I think as entrepreneurs, these are our greatest and our best lessons. And if you're smart, which most of you probably are, you have these lessons for a reason and you don't do it again, then you're a schmuck. So I've only had maybe three
failures.
3 failures.
And what do you attribute those to? But looking back, you know, what was a big key individual mistake you made on them?
Well, one was hair straighteners, and you know, it was early on in the game, and what I should have, you know, this is obvious to you guys probably, but it wasn't obvious to me back then. I didn't do a comp. I didn't look in the market. It was a saturated market. These ceramic hair straighteners. Everyone was doing it. How could I compete with the best, the GHDs and and Conair and all that. They were doing it way better than me. Yeah, I could market it, but they had the credibility, and it just didn't work. So yeah, I was just naive. I was naive, and I was still believing my own bullshit. So, and plus, you know, with the product, I think now I believe in brand integrity. And believe me, a lot of people don't go by this. And I would rather take a hit on my margins and give people a fantastic product than to think short term. I'm all about longevity. Like in the retail world, you know, it means something to me. I want a fantastic brand. I want something that's original, that's unique. And I really understand my target market. When you're out there, who is your market? Who's your market? Who are you selling to? We'll cater to that. Focus in on that. What do they want? Give them a good price. Be competitive. I didn't understand all this, but obviously through my mistakes and my investments, now I do.
I mean, just carrying on with that, I guess that theme of negativity for a second. Talk to us about some of your kind of deepest, darkest moments. And obviously, I know about the health, obviously a health scare, which was public knowledge as well at the time. I mean, how did that affect you in business at the time? You know, what changes did you make? And looking back, would you have done anything any differently?
Well, I mean, the health scare was obviously that changed everything for me. It's funny in life when you, sometimes the universe or energy, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, you have signs and you're supposed to change. And we really hate change. We're kind of scared of change. And the older we get, the more we're scared of it. And I think I was diagnosed with a brain tumor 2 years ago. Crazy. I was on this TV show, and yeah, all these weird things started happening. The doctor said, you have a brain tumor. And I think I was getting some, you know, I was really stressed. I had, you know, with my businesses, and I needed to take a step, and I needed to change, and I never did. And with this health scare, you know, it changed. I mean, it's great. Everything turned out, you know, he got rid of it, even though he had to take out my skull and do this and that, and 8.5 hours of surgery. It was a bit hairy-carry, but it's gone, and it's never coming back, and it was benign, and blah, blah, blah. But a lot of it was like stress-related, and I should have changed. So as entrepreneurs, again, don't be afraid of change. We need to change. We need to embrace change. And again, don't, you know, fear is just not an option. I mean, I had my second career at 35. Now I'm 48 and I'm going into something else yet again because there is no fear. I just have to go for it, you know?
Cool. Well, has anybody else got any questions?
If you didn't go into modelling so early in your career, what would you plan? Where were you planning on going?
I probably would have married somebody very rich and been a gold digger. Actually, it probably would have been smarter and I would have been richer. So maybe I'm the schmuck.
So, well, I'm going to ask you let's finish on a high, and you can tell us what the future holds for Caprice and whether or not you're going to win Dancing on Ice. And then I want to give you guys 15 or 20 minutes so we can all have a chat and you can hang out before you have to rush off. So yeah, go on, tell us something super fun, super positive, and where we're going to see you in 10 years.
I thought this whole talk was super fun and super positive. What is he going on about?
I meant after the talk about health scares and brain tumours.
Oh, no, but it all turned out great. You know what I mean? It all turned out fine. And I think it was a sign. You know, one thing, regardless what happens in life, I turn it into a positive. I think that's really, I think we should all take that on board. And, you know, we're thrown out some really hairy-carry things in life. And there's not one person in here where life is just so lovely and great and wonderful. But it's all in, you know, we can't change our surroundings and what happens around us, but we can control how we react to them. And this is a big one for me. And as a woman, and you know, I used to think emotionally, used to make blockbusters in my head. I don't do that anymore. Everything that happens in my life is totally meant to happen for some kind of crazy reason. And I totally accept that. and we just move forward. You know, it's about solutions. It's about no or being a victim. No, it's about solutions and moving forward positively and aggressively sometimes. But, sorry, what was your question again?
What does the future hold? What's the next big project?
The future, well, I just, you know, right now, I just, I think just expanding my businesses, and yeah, I'm doing Dancing on Ice, but I'm doing it because it fuels the fire for my businesses. It's great marketing. Expanding and just making money. Making money. I love to make money. I'm not going to lie. We all love to make money. It's just we have to figure out how to do it and how to sustain it and how to make it grow.
Awesome. Well, listen, I think they're perfect words to finish on. We all want to make money, so thank you very much. Guys, thanks a lot too. Can we have a round of applause for Caprice? Thanks for getting up bright and early. And,